Welcome to the Missouri Valley Conference Game of the Week preview show presented by Mercy, the official orthopedics and sports medicine provider of the Missouri Valley Conference. With head coach Brian Wardle of the Bradley Braves, I'm Harry Schroeder, and Wednesday night at 6 p.m. on your local Gray media station and on Matrix Midwest here in St. Louis, the Braves will be taking on the Southern Illinois Salukis. Brian, thanks for joining us this morning. You guys got a win against Evansville over the weekend. What was better, or was anything better? I mean, I know the win is better, but you guys have been struggling a little bit. What was improving this weekend?
We practiced well. I think our guys, let's give our opponents some credit here. I mean, I always do. We're playing some hot teams and some teams that shot the ball very well against us and played well. And we obviously had to get our seniors going again, and I thought they got themselves going. And I always give the player credit. Everyone can do some, a motivational video here, a talk here, a boost there, but you got to get yourself going. And I thought our seniors were really locked in our last game against Evansville. Energy was good. Duke's leadership was tremendous, Darius, and they played their game. They played confident and aggressive, and that's just what we need as we move forward. So it was a good game. We've obviously scored the ball well the last couple games at 80 points, pretty much both games. So it's just tightening our defense up for two halves and keep improving. But we needed another road win. We needed that win, and hopefully that can ignite us in some better basketball here.
I'm a long way away watching the game on television, but body language matters, and I thought Duke's body language was exceptional on Saturday. Maybe it always is, but I thought it was exceptional Saturday.
I agree. And, you watched it last night, Harry, with the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Guys can have bad games. Pat Mahomes, one of the greatest quarterbacks ever. That team had a bad game. They weren't locked in. They probably, and Eagles were, and they punched him in the mouth and kept attacking them. So it can happen at all levels to all ages, but definitely to 18 to 23-year-olds. And Duke smiling was big. There's a lot of pressure on him, and there's a lot of pressure on these seniors. And when there's that pressure, you can get a little tight if you care a lot. And those guys care a lot. And I think they played looser. They smiled more. They relaxed. There was more resetting quicker mentally, and I think all those things help as you move forward into February.
Evansville does present problems, don't they? They're a long team. They could do some damage in St. Louis.
They're scary. They really are. They're big. They're long. They do have an identity of they're going to get paint touches, and they're I thought their big man played great against us. Connor Turnbull, I mean, he had a tremendous game against us. Played. They got a really good point guard that can get to the paint. They got shooting. They're a scary team. They're a scary team. But, I thought we played 30 good minutes of basketball. We just didn't close the game out very well in the last 10 or 8. And that's stuff we'll learn from and continue to, try to improve on. But we played some good basketball in that game.
I know you're always looking at that, improving and practicing well and doing the right things. But you're on the verge of your third straight 20-win season. 6 in the last 8 have been 20 wins. Once you get over that hurdle, those things matter too, don't they? They start to build a narrative around the whole program.
Yeah, you want consistency. You want a program that can sustain success and be competitive at the top of the league every year. And that's what I was hired to do 10 years ago. I've been proud of what we've accomplished. I'd like to accomplish more. I still have a big chip on my shoulder and a desire and determination to keep improving this program and being better. But we've accomplished a lot. It's hard. I've been a low major coach and a mid-major coach. It's hard. It's hard to have 20-win seasons without some postseason tournament wins. And we've been able to do that without postseason tournament wins, just through Arch Madness. And I'm proud of that. 6 in the last 8 years is big because I have Mike Bargan and Jimmy Foster on my side too. Don't get fooled there. I've had a lot of great players and some really good coaches and great coaches around me that are there with me through this. And even Green Bay, I mean, we've won 20-plus games in 8 of the last 12 seasons. And so I'm very proud of that, just the consistency. And now getting my team to play consistent down the stretch is all I care about right now, and playing at a high level. And we're playing like you're going to talk about, Harry, SIU, Salukis, coach, Nagy's a really good coach. And you knew he was going to get them clicking offensively, and they're really clicking right now offensively at a high level.
We'll stay with them for a little bit. Kennard Davis is a force. Hensley is a guy that goes inside, outside for them. Deba's explosive. How do you defend, like you said, an improving, emerging Southern Illinois squad?
They flow real nice. The ball moves. They kind of they all know their role right now, and you could tell that they're all shooting their shots. And I always think that's big. You can tell when a team's clicking, they have a clear identity, and everyone's bought into their role, and they're shooting their shots. They're guarding who they need to be guarding and doing what they need to be doing on the other end too. And Southern Illinois is playing very well right now. So it's going to be a challenge for us. You got to keep, certain guys out of the paint. You got to defend the 3-point line on certain guys. You got to just stay really disciplined. I think weak side help is big. Transition defense is going to be huge. And that's where we got caught in the second half a little bit at Evansville. We fouled a little bit too much, and they just put their head down and got to the paint and drove into us and drew a lot of fouls. And so we got to be more disciplined in transition D, and guarding the dribble has got to be a huge key to this game.
You talked about pressure on your seniors. I kind of thought at the beginning of the year, a lot of people just expected Darius Hannah to be, what your other big guy was last year. Just step into that role, be Malavai.
Yeah.
And that's just not easy to do. And people kind of just expected Darius to be an NBA player.
Mm-hmm. No, Darius needs to be Darius. Darius Hannah's on his own journey, his own path, and Malavai is Malavai. And I think Darius understands that. He's had some really good games, really efficient games. When we keep him out of foul trouble and on the floor, he's been extremely effective for us, and he's a guy that can change the game on both ends, and he's with his versatility. So he's going to be a big part of us down the stretch here, as all our seniors are, as upperclassmen are for every team. But Darius Hannah, I'm very proud of him. He eclipsed the 1,000-point mark. He's been extremely loyal to this program in Peoria and Bradley University. And I think he's going to be the all-time games played in Bradley history too here coming up. So I'm just so, knock on wood, I'm just so proud of him and what he's done. And we just got to keep building and keep getting and putting him in positions to succeed and have the ball against good matchups in certain situations. But man, if he comes in with the mentality he had against Evansville, that was one of his best games on both sides of the ball for 4 minutes, whatever he played. But to see his career, to see his growth each year, it's kind of a throwback. It's kind of a throwback. It's kind of what we did in the 90s and in early 2000s. You stayed at your school and you got better each year, and your role got bigger each year. And I think he's learning how to be the number 2, the number 1, the number 3 guy with Duke and Zeke. And so those guys are at the top of the scouting report now, and it is different. And I think he's adjusted well to it throughout the year.
Another guy that for some people flies under the radar, but I think is so valuable, obviously, to you guys and does so many things for you is Christian Davis. Talk about him.
Glue guy. He is our rock in a lot of ways. He's probably our most consistent guy of this season so far on both sides of the ball. And tremendous young man, good leader, great work ethic, has all the intangibles. But I just love how he just plays really hard. He has that motor. He has filled that kind of Malavai role, I guess you would say, of just a high motor, long, athletic kid on both ends of the ball, cutting, attacking, playing D, rebounding, doing all the little things to win. And his role's gotten bigger each year too. So, obviously he's a guy you love having in your locker room and in your program because he's a winner. He makes winning plays.
Before I let you go, is it different now than it used to be in terms of recruiting? This is an in-state game. Are those in-state games any more important, or are they less important maybe than they used to be?
I don't want to say less. I mean, they're always big. But unfortunately, I do think rivalries have faded away in a way. I don't know exactly why. I think there's a lot of factors in it. Maybe players transfer a lot. Players travel so much in AAU ball, they know each other. Everybody's friends now. They can connect and talk and build relationships and through social media. And I think that's a great thing too. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but I think it has hurt the rivalry maybe aspect of everything. But this is a big game. I mean, our fans, Bradley fans, Harry, they're committed to basketball. They are basketball historians. They love the game. They love the history of rivalries. And it's a big game for us. It'll be a big game for SIU just because they're playing so well right now and they're hot, and we need to get some more wins here down the stretch. So it's a big game for both teams, and it should be exciting.
Appreciate your time today, Brian. Best of luck.
Always. Thanks, Harry.
Our Wednesday night coverage begins at 6 p.m. Central. For information on where you can find the game, head to mvc-sports.com. For the Missouri Valley Conference, I'm Harry Schroeder.